Welcome back, everyone. Today I have a little bit of a yarn haul for you, and then there's a couple of other things I wanted to show you. Some makes from several years ago, and not even yarn. So I'll come back and I'll show you what they are. Okay, welcome back. This is Fiber Floozie Crafts. My name is Jill. If you're new, I'm really glad you have decided to be a part of my family. I really appreciate that. And if you've been here for a while, I love y'all. I'm so glad you're here. I'm hoping that this one goes up after my podcast. We'll see. My hope. I did a little video the other day showing y'all that Mr. Fiber and I, that is what we call my husband here because he didn't want to be called Mr. Floozie. He wasn't having it. So he and I went on a little shopping trip. We had a day out together. We had a really great day. We went and had Chinese food. We went to Hobby Lobby. We went to Michael's. We went to Ollie's. We went to the record store. And then we went to Family Dollar Tree. It was a day, y'all. It was a day. So I want to show you the things that I picked up while I was out. And I'm going to give you my little impression of some of the stores and how they were looking. Now, he and I have been to, we went to the Ollie's store, which is a retail store. It's kind of like a Gibson's. Their quote is good stuff cheap. And we actually bought quite a bit of stuff there. I did buy a little bit of yarn. They had only 3 kinds of yarn on sale at that location in Wichita Falls. The location we went to in Abilene had no yarn the last time we went in there. We found some things, but they didn't have any yarn. And you never know what they're going to have. It comes and it goes as far as what they receive. Now, at times, I will tell you this, it is warming up in the she shed, have all the lights on, and I have my studio lights on also. I haven't used them in a long time, and I'm like, I really need to get back to using those. So I'm hoping that what I show you today looks even better with the studio lights on. But it makes me a little warm. So I may have to turn on a fan. We'll see if I can stick it out. Okay, this is what I had. Now, they had the O-Go blanket yarn on sale. And they had one of the fur yarns. It was all in one color, which was my color. I know, I should have got it. But I didn't have a use for that one right now. And it wasn't the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for something to do. Crystal over at Bag O' Day did a shrug where she put a fur lining around the edge. I'm looking for just the right kind. I may wind up having to order it from Hirschner's or something, but we'll see. I thought about getting that one, but I did not. And then the other thing they had besides those two was the Red Heart It's a Wrap. Now I have quite a bit of the It's a Wrap. But this particular one is the sprinkles, which I did not have. And being able to get it for $4.99 was awesome. So Ollie's, $4.99. It's a wrap sprinkles from Red Heart. And this is the color. It has 50% acrylic and 50% cotton. 5.29 ounces, 150 grams, 623 yards, or 570 meters. And one of these, stuck to the bag. One of these will make a shawl or wrap. And my thought was, since it is a thinner yarn, I'm kind of thinking that I will take one from the inside and one from the outside, and then I can do a DK, more of a DK weight with this. I just thought this was an absolutely gorgeous color. This one is called, one moment please. So these are a two. They're actually not a one, they're a two. But I feel like I could do it as a DK weight. Blueberry Tart. See, it has that like brown on the outside, and it has like golds on the inside. It's called Blueberry Tart. It's just beautiful. So that's all I bought yarn-wise at Ollie's. Then we went to Hobby Lobby. Now Hobby Lobby, I love the yarn. Y'all, I love Hobby Lobby's yarn. They have had some very interesting blends. The blend, I like a blend of wool and acrylic, or wool and cotton, or wool and viscose, you know, or viscose and cotton. And Hobby Lobby has been fantastic with coming out with those different blends, and I love it. But the selection was terrible. Hobby Lobby is not listening to the crafters. Michaels is not listening to the crafters. I'm hoping this turns around. I'm not giving up. I won't stop going to Michaels or Hobby Lobby. I just don't go as often. And usually it's when I need something. Sorry, I'm just snoring. I whispered because he hears his name. He's snoring over there, or he's breathing really heavy. He's just been outside to go for a little whoop-de-doo around outside and lay in the sun and roll in the dirt. He's such a dog. But even though they didn't have the greatest selection, I did manage to get some things. So, let me show you what I got. I picked up three skeins of this yarn. Now, these all look the same, right? Tell me they all look the same. Now I'm going to switch it up on you, and then tell me, do they still all look the same? Because they're not. So I already had some of this, and I decided if I wanted to make a bigger project, I would go ahead and get some more. And that is one of the problems I have with both Michaels and Hobby Lobby. And that was something I looked at particularly today when I went, or Saturday when I went, was how much they have in stock. The most yarn that I found in stock in one dye lot, I will show you in just a moment what I got. Most of them in their little baskets or on their shelves were between 5 and 7. Well, most of them were about 5 almost all of those bins had 5 of one color, and not all in the same dye lot. So I had a time finding the next one I'm going to show you, because it's a solid color. I decided I would definitely want it in the same dye lot. But this one is called Flawless. It's simply Flawless. It was not 30% off day either, which is another reason I didn't do like shop. There were a few others I would have liked to have had, and I will probably go back and get. And the same with Michael's. I didn't have coupons, so I decided not to do that either. This is normally $6.99, and it's worth it. It is worth every bit of that $6.99. It is soft. It is bouncy. It is a round, you know, the yarn is round, right? But it's like a, I call it like a tubular. The construction is kind of tubular. It's got like a slight sheen to it, and it just feels great. This is a number 4 weight, 100% low pill acrylic, and that's that tubular makeup on it. That the low pill acrylic has that sheen and has like that same kind of, it's just different. And y'all, I am the fiber floozie, so one of the things that really turns me on about yarn is how it's made, what it feels like, the twist on it. All of those things fascinate me about yarn, and all the different fibers, and why I like all the different blends and stuff. So there you go. This one is actually made from several strands, loosely spun. Even though it has that tubular cast on, it's loosely spun. So it gives it a lot of movement in your project. It doesn't have like a ton of stretch. There's not a ton of stretch in here, but it still has movement. And the first time I used this was last year at this time, when I made the Month of Love poncho, and Mr. Fiber pulled one right off the shelf and stuck it in that bag, and I put that in my poncho, and I was like, oh, I got to use this some more. So I'm working on a project, and I don't know if I'm going to have to order some more of this for the project. We'll see. But I picked up 3 of those. Now you want to know, okay, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. I said this is a number 4. This is actually a number 3. It is 5 ounces, 142 grams, 301 yards, and 275 meters. And that's in the variegated. They also have solids. Here's one of the solid colors that I already had. And it comes in a 7 ounce, 198 grams, 420 yards, and 384 meters. So you get more than 100 more yards in the solid than in the variegated. I'll show you those in a minute. So I got 3, and this one is called Sunwash Riviera, which is what I thought that I had bought. I already had 2. But I didn't. I have one of the Sunwash Riviera, and I had one of this one, which is called something Pedalscape. Now this actually broke, and let me show you the inside. There's the inside of Pedalscape. It has a lot more of this green in it. Okay. Now let's break this open. And here is the Sunwashed Riviera. But it has green. It does have the green in it. So I do think that this will work. But I'm almost thinking about this. The Pedalscape would actually be like a border. I'm not sure. But we're looking at, now I have 5. Okay, and this would be definitely a decent project. But I also have this one called Mist. And the one I just showed you is called Gunmetal. And the other one that I have is called Desert Rose. So I have 3 solids, which means with all of this here, I have a really decent sized amount of yarn that I could definitely make a blanket or a cardigan. I mean, I could do those variegateds and use the solids for sleeves and pockets, and so I don't know which way I'm gonna go with it, but now I have enough to do something with, and that is the Simply Flawless from Yarn Bee. Now the solids are $7.49. Now you know Yarn Bee. At Hobby Lobby, they will sometimes put things on sale, I mean, up their prices, and then you'll have to look through the bins because they'll have one that is like an older, and that will be a different price than the newer when they come out with the new colors and stuff. And sometimes when they bring in more stock, the newer ones actually have a higher price than the older stock. So you have to keep an eye on that. That's just something you have to do with Hobby Lobby. And I know a lot of people have issues with them, not just for that, but for other things too. And we are not going to go into that today. I'm just ignoring any kind of drama here on this channel, okay? I'm just ignoring it. We're not going to do drama. All right. This one I did not have any of. I have a lot of Hobby Lobby yarn in a lot of different lines, but I did not have any. This is called Easy Going. This one is a 4-weight. This color's called Crimson Fire. .5 ounces, 100 grams, 175 yards, and 160 meters. It has the Okie-Tex. Just what I call it, y'all. It's the Okie-Tex. And it's very soft. And I don't know, you can tell the difference on this one and with this one. When I say it's tubular, that this one is tubular, you see the difference on the twist. So I have ideas to do some things in a red. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. This is the other yarn that I bought, which is the Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn. It's very soft. I had to look for more of the dye lot because I picked one of them up and it was shinier than the other, and it didn't feel as good as this one. And then I was glad that this is the one they had more of in their dye lot. When I was done, there were only 3 left. Now I bought 7 of this one. The rest are in here. So see, there's 6 in there. And then this one, so I have 7. This color is Cranberry. The number is 50. And this yarn's made in Turkey, which probably is why it's a little bit softer. This is their regular I Love This Yarn. It's not a print or anything. And it's a solid. $4.99 is what I paid. 100% acrylic. 7 ounces, 199 grams, 355 yards, 325 meters. It's got the Okie-Tex. And I will show you now what I'm thinking when I bought this much of this. Because with 355 yards and 7 of them, I wanted to have enough for either 2 or 3 projects or 1 large project. and I'm not sure which direction. I know what I'd like to do, but I'm not positive yet. So let me show you the other two things I got. I got these little bottles, these little applicators. They were $2.29, and they have a metal tip here with a stopper on it, you know, that'll cap it, the little cap that's attached. And I'm going to use these when I do paper crafts and planner stuff. And I'll put glue in that. And I also bought one of their duffels, not duffels, one of their totes. I bought this tote. It was $2.99, and it has 1, 2, 3 pockets. It's canvas, and y'all know how much I love the canvas. Now, I bought some iron-on stickers or appliques, and I had a bag that I wanted to use, which was teal, but it was like a shiny material, and the appliques that I had for it wouldn't stick. So now I have something that they'll stick to. So I have 2 projects. I have a crossover that I showed you before that I'm going to put an applique on, and then I have this one. And it'll have sloths. It's got a small box bottom. $2.99, you can't beat it. And I will show you guys that when I finish putting the appliques on that. Okay? Now, this is what I bought. I think I bought this at Who Gives a Scrap in Colorado Springs. And it's called Knit Red. No, I didn't. I ordered this off of Amazon. It's by Lorna Mackenzie. It's called Knit Red, Stitching for Women's Heart Health. And I bought this after my diagnosis of AFib. And because my mother had open heart surgery, my grandfather had open heart surgery, there's a history of heart disease in my family. And there is, I love this cardigan. It's a beautiful cardigan in here. But the one on the cover, which is actually done in a cranberry color, let me see if I can find it. Oh, they did such a phenomenal thing with this book. Each of the patterns is done by someone who's had heart disease either themselves or has been affected by heart disease, someone in their family. So that's really cool. I mean, there's a ton of projects in here, but let me find the one that I want you to see. Okay, it's called the One Shoulder Tunic. It's done by Cornelia Tuttle Hamilton. She's based out of Sweden. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty, y'all? That sounds a little bit like I Love Lucy. I Love Loopy Crochet and Treasures, right? I always want to call her I Love Lucy. I don't know why. But I love that. It actually has a ruching down. It's got a little bit of a ruching down the side here. See that? So cool. There are so many wonderful patterns in here that can be made in any color. But I knew in order to do a larger project, I would need quite a bit of the red. So at Michael's, they had several, they always have those like center aisle displays. They had blanket yarn there. They didn't have any, usually they have like a four-sided display or whatever you call it for like new yarn, but they didn't have that. They did have the hues, loops and threads hues. It looked a lot like Scarfy Light to me, and maybe just a little bit lighter weight than the Blossom Cakes. But I really liked the Blossom Cakes better than those hues, so I didn't get any of those. They also had the other new one, forget what it was called. So that was 2 end caps, right? They had an entire aisle of Impeccable, which they have a lot of colors in their Impeccable. That's their big seller for value yarn. But they also had a new value yarn. No, and I didn't get any of it. But I think it's like their Craft Smart, but they renamed that something else. Can't remember what. And it's in a big, like almost like a bonus. So there's a lot in that one. But I didn't get any of that either because I have a bunch of solids. They were all in solids. And they only had like 5 or 6 colors. But that's okay. That's no big deal. So I didn't buy anything in any of those aisles. Mr. Fiber told me, he says, they got some clearance. Let's see. And I bought clearance. See, this is my little bag from Michael's. And it was funny because I got up to the front with this yarn. Serbs is on the bone again. And one of the ladies that was checking said, "Oh, I forgot to get some of that yarn." She says, "Have you seen that lady that does the vintage hat?" She was talking about just Vintage Crochet. I'll leave a link to what they were talking about. And evidently they used this yarn. But this yarn was in their clearance. It's a baby. It's called Beehive Baby Sport by Patons. And it was $3 each in clearance. Was $6.99 down to $3. This is 100 grams, 3.5 ounces. It's 70% acrylic and 30% nylon. And it's very soft. It's a number 3 weight, of course. I got the blue and the white because I'm thinking about baby sweater, something along those lines. And then I got all that they had in the gray. So if that lady was going to look for that back there, sorry, I got them. So my total was $19.49 for 6 of these. And this is the gray one, and it's, oh, no color name? Baby gray. Baby gray, bonnet blue, and angel white. So yeah, 3 weight yarn. $328 meters, 359 yards. Just looking at the symbols. 1 ball will make socks and a hat. 4 balls will make a blanket, a baby blanket. 2 balls will make a baby sweater. It says machine wash and dry. So that is all I got at Michael's. I got 4 of the gray, 1 of the blue, and 1 of the white. That's it. I was not impressed. Michael's had more yarn than Hobby Lobby, I think. But isn't it hard to tell when they keep breaking them up? We've got a little over here, and we don't know what to do with you yarn stuff. We don't really want to get rid of it because then you'll all really be pissed off at us. And nobody's really wanting to put their yarn in our stores. So we're just going to stick a little over here and a little over there. I don't know. That's my theory. I don't know, just feels like they stick us back in the corner on whatever shelf they can find. And if it doesn't fit there, they'll throw the rest of it over here on the end cap. And that's that. We don't really dedicate a section of our store anymore to the yarn. But if we don't go out and touch it and feel it, that's the issue, isn't it? And what a lot of people watch our channels when we do a yarn haul. They want to know what you think of something before they order it. You know, if they're going to order some yarn from somewhere, they want to know what people think of it. And they watch several channels and they watch the things they make with it. And they say, yeah, I'm going to get some of that one. I think that's some of that. And those of us that create things, we want to feel the yarn. That's the hard thing about ordering stuff, because we may not like it when we get it. And it may not be the right color when we get it. Things don't always look the same online as they do in person. So there's that too. And Michael's had absolutely no planners. They've cut planners out of their stores. Yeah. They had nothing. They had some albums. That they didn't have any stickers. Stickers were gone. No sticker books anywhere. They had 2 sticker books at the very front that were Valentine. And they were more kid stickers than they were adult stickers. Gone. Took everything out. I think that they shut down that section of Michael's. Y'all let me know if you've seen any anywhere, okay? Let me know. Now here's the projects that I wanted to show you, because there are several people that are creators of yarny stuff that also do cross stitch. There's a lot of floss tubes. I used to do cross stitch. I don't anymore because it's really hard with eyes, hands. I had to narrow down my focus on my crafts a lot. And I did that even more so in this last year. Now I cut this out of the shirt because the shirt no longer fit me, but I didn't want to lose my work. And this shirt, let me just show you. I love roses. And this was a pattern that came out of a book, and the book was made to be done, the patterns were made to be done on this type of material. This is one of those flannel, not flannel, but thermal shirts. And it has all the little squares already on it. And so you just do this directly on it. I'm going to put this in a frame is what I'm going to do. So I went ahead and took it out and left enough that I could stretch it out onto the frame, and then I will trim everything up. When I get that done, I will show y'all. And then this is the other thing that I did. I did a lot of cross stitch. I had cross stitch all over my house. I wish I had kept them, but it's just, you know, they went away in the divorce. This one I had done specifically for my mother. So when we brought stuff back, when my dad moved here to Texas from Colorado, and when we moved him, I decided that this needed to come home with me. It is an apron. And this is an Ada that is sewn in. I bought the apron like this with the Ada already in it. And then I did the cross stitch on there. And it says, "My kitchen and me welcome thee." It needs to be washed. A little trick that my mother taught me was that you take a piece of dried, you put a piece of bread out on the counter, and once it's good and dry, then you take it and you rub it all over the work, and it will take all the dust and stuff off without having to get it wet. So there we go. So yeah, I've been meaning to show you guys that I have done other things in the past. And that's just a couple of them right there. If I want to put some cross stitches up and get some framed, I have a whole bunch of beautiful ones that my mother-in-law did. And she did the best work. I mean, she did the tiniest of cloth. The tiniest. And just beautiful. She was a quilter and a cross stitcher, a knitter, a crocheter. She did a lot of crafting, and I have a lot of her things. My mother was a knitter, a crocheter, a cross stitcher, a sewer. She didn't do a lot of quilts, but she had made some. She just didn't do a lot of them. And painting, she could paint. She did a lot of things. She was very, very talented too. Okay, you guys, I love y'all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Have fun today. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell and all that stuff. And I will see you guys, okay? I love ya. See you later.